It was a Tuesday. Not just any Tuesday, but one of those mornings where the world feels strangely quiet, as if it's holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. The kind of day that starts off feeling ordinary, but you have no idea it's about to change everything. The sky was gray, the kind that drains the world of color. The clouds hung low, pressing down on the city, making everything feel heavier, slower. Even the air seemed thick with anticipation, as if it knew what was coming before I did. I walked into the office, the familiar hum of computers and distant chatter in the background. I grabbed a coffee, hoping the caffeine would shake off the unease I couldn't quite name. Before I knew it, my boss called me in, his voice unusually serious. "We're making some changes. Corporate code for you're fired." The conversation was short, almost clinical. My stomach dropped. My ears rang. I tried to focus, but the words blurred together, each one landing like a punch. I barely heard the words about severance, about next steps, about how it's not personal. It all sounded distant, muffled, like I was underwater. All I could think about was the walk back to my desk, the walk of shame, the longest, loneliest walk I'd ever taken, every step echoing with finality. Everyone pretended not to look, but I felt every eye on me as I packed my mug, a family photo, the little things that made my desk feel like home, and a dying plant into a box. Each item felt like a memory, a reminder of the time I'd spent here, the effort I'd given, now reduced to things I could carry. I left the building for the last time, cold air hitting my face, clutching my box of failure. The wind stung, but not as much as the reality settling in. The world kept moving. Cars, people, life, while mine had just stopped. It was as if I'd been pushed off a moving train, left standing still while everything else sped by. I was just another guy on a Tuesday holding a box, not knowing what to do next. The city didn't care. To everyone else, I was invisible, just another face in the crowd. So, I walked. No destination, just moving, replaying the moment over and over. The self-doubt was crushing. Every step felt heavier than the last, my mind racing with questions and regrets. What did I do wrong? Was it something I said? Something I missed? The uncertainty gnawed at me, making it hard to breathe. Was I not good enough? Had I failed my team, my family, myself? The doubts piled up, each one heavier than the last. I had a family to support, bills to pay, and now, no paycheck. The weight of responsibility pressed down on me, making the future feel impossibly uncertain. That box wasn't just office supplies, it was my fears, my anxieties, my uncertain future. The weight was real, and it was heavy. In that moment, I realized I was carrying more than just a box. I was carrying the fear of what comes next, and the hope that somehow I'd find a way through. I got home to silence. The kind of silence that feels heavy, pressing in from all sides, making every footstep echo with the weight of uncertainty. The apartment felt emptier than usual, as if it too sensed the shift in my world. The box by the door was a symbol of defeat. It wasn't just cardboard and tape, it was everything I'd lost, everything I was afraid to face. Each time I glanced at it, I felt the sting of failure. I sat on the couch, staring at the wall, my mind racing with questions and regrets. Thoughts spiraled. What did I do wrong? How did I end up here? The silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of my own anxious breathing. How would I tell my family? The shame was overwhelming, a constant ache in my chest. Days blurred together, each one slipping by in a haze of worry and self-doubt. I watched the light change through the window, marking time I felt I was wasting. I sent resumes, scrolled job sites for hours, and watched rejection emails trickle in, or worse, got no response at all. Every unanswered application felt like another door slamming shut, another reminder that I was adrift. The money panic set in. Bills piled up on the table, each envelope a reminder that time was running out. I checked my bank account obsessively, hoping for a miracle that never came. I did the math over and over. The numbers didn't add up, no matter how I tried to stretch them. Every calculation ended with the same conclusion. I was running out of options. Rent, groceries, bills, they kept coming, relentless and unforgiving. No matter how much I cut back, the essentials never stopped demanding attention. The pressure was suffocating. My savings were a ticking clock, counting down to zero. Every day, the pile of coins grew smaller and the sense of urgency grew larger. I could almost hear the seconds slipping away. Every day, the pressure built. A tightness in my chest that wouldn't go away, no matter how many deep breaths I took. Anxiety became my constant companion, following me from room to room. I realized I couldn't just wait for a company to save me. Waiting felt like surrender, like giving up control over my own life. I needed to reclaim my agency, to make a move, any move. The safe 9-to-5 wasn't safe at all. It could vanish in a 5-minute meeting, leaving you with nothing but a cardboard box and a head full of doubts. The illusion of security was shattered. I was tired of feeling powerless, tired of waiting for the phone to ring with news that never came. The waiting was its own kind of torture, a slow erosion of hope. I had to do something, anything to take control back. Even a small step forward felt better than standing still. I needed to prove to myself that I wasn't beaten yet. The traditional path had failed me. The rules I'd followed for years no longer applied. It was time to let go of old expectations and find a new direction. I needed a new plan. I needed to act. I started brainstorming, scribbling ideas, researching side hustles, anything that might offer a way out. The first step was the hardest, but it was also the most important. I needed to find a way forward. Even if the path wasn't clear, I had to move. Each step, no matter how small, was a step away from fear and toward possibility. It was time to hit the panic button and start over, not out of desperation, but out of determination. This was my chance to rebuild, to create something new from the ashes of what I'd lost. Surrounded by bills and rejection letters, I hit a low point. The weight of uncertainty pressed down on me, and every envelope felt heavier than the last. I remember staring at the numbers, feeling like I was drowning in a sea of no's and overdue notices. It was as if my future had shrunk to the size of my kitchen table, cluttered with reminders of everything that wasn't working. Then, as I looked around, my eyes landed on my camera, my bike, and a stack of books. These weren't just things gathering dust. They were assets, tools, and maybe even opportunities waiting to be discovered. Suddenly I realized I had more resources than I thought, right there in my own home. What if I stopped looking for a job and started making one? The idea was radical for me, but it sparked a tiny flame of possibility. Maybe, just maybe, I could create my own path instead of waiting for someone else to open a door. The idea of working for myself was terrifying, but also exciting. My heart raced with both fear and anticipation. I had no roadmap, but the thought of taking control, even in a small way, was electrifying. Side hustle popped into my head. It sounded manageable, something I could start now, without quitting everything or risking it all. It was a way to test the waters, to see what I was capable of. I grabbed a pen and made a list. Walk dogs, sell old clothes, offer to mow lawns, maybe even tutor online. Every idea, no matter how small or simple, went down on paper. Edit videos, design flyers, help neighbors with errands. No idea was too small. Each task was a potential stepping stone, a way to earn a little and learn a lot. For the first time in weeks, I felt hope. I wasn't just a guy who got fired. I was a guy with a list, a plan, and a spark of determination. That list became my anchor, something to hold on to when everything else felt uncertain. This was my turning point. Stop being a victim, start being the architect of my future. I realized I could choose action over despair, and that choice changed everything. It wasn't about one perfect idea. It was about trying, experimenting, surviving. I gave myself permission to fail, to learn, and to keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps. The goal was simple: make enough to pay the next bill, buy myself a little more time, and slowly reclaim my confidence. Every dollar earned was a small victory, proof that I could make things happen. The side hustle became my declaration of independence. I didn't need permission from anyone to start. I could take action right now on my own terms. I just needed to start. That was the hardest part, taking the first step even if it was small and uncertain. One step, one idea at a time. Each action built momentum, And with every new attempt, I felt a little stronger, a little more in control. That's how I began to rebuild, not overnight, but piece by piece, with hope, grit, and a willingness to try. My first move was freelancing, selling a skill I already had, video editing. I reached out to small businesses, local bands, anyone who might need a video. My first client was a coffee shop. The pay was small, but the proof was huge. Delivering that video and seeing it out in the world felt amazing. Freelancing works for almost any skill: writing, web design, organization. The key: identify what you're good at, find people who need it. Sites like Upwork and Fiverr help you get started. Build a portfolio, even if it means doing a few projects for free. Ask for testimonials. Good reviews are gold. Freelancing taught me to be my own boss, manage my time, and value my work. It was my first step toward financial freedom. Proof that I could do this. Proof that I could survive. After my first freelance check, I needed more cash, fast. I looked around my apartment and saw piles of unused stuff: clothes, electronics, books. Every item was potential cash, so I started a digital garage sale. I took good photos, wrote honest descriptions, and listed everything online. Sales trickled in. $10 for a t-shirt, $50 for old sneakers. It added up quickly. Selling my stuff was liberating. I was decluttering my life and making money. Anyone can do this. Just a smartphone and things you don't need. Be honest, responsive, and ship items quickly. This hustle taught me e-commerce basics, pricing, photography, customer service. I learned to create value from what I already owned. Sometimes the answer is right in front of you. You just have to look and let go. As I hustled, I realized I was learning, and people wanted to know how. I started tutoring video editing, offering lessons to anyone interested. My first student was a high school kid wanting to start a YouTube channel. Teaching was rewarding. Seeing someone get it was powerful. You can teach anything: guitar, languages, Excel. Someone will pay to learn. Use Zoom, create online courses, share your knowledge. This hustle taught me to communicate, structure information, and help others grow. Your knowledge is valuable. Don't underestimate it. When money was tight, I turned to the gig economy. DoorDash, Instacart, whatever paid today. My first delivery was nerve-wracking, but I got the hang of it fast. The gig economy is flexible. Work when you want. Stop when you're done. There's an app for everything. Deliver food, run errands, walk dogs. If you have a car, bike, or smartphone, you can start earning in days. Be efficient, know your city, be friendly. Good ratings matter. It won't make you rich, but it pays the bills. The grind taught me resilience. When you need to earn, there's always a way. You just have to go out and do the work. After months of hustling, I was paying bills and had my confidence back. A friend suggested I share my story on YouTube. At first I laughed, but then I realized my story was universal. I started a channel, sharing my journey, tutorials, and honest experiences. The first videos got a few views, but I kept going. Then, people started reaching out. This is exactly what I'm going through. Content creation is a powerful side hustle. Blog, podcast, YouTube, share what you know. It's a long game, but consistency and authenticity build community. Sharing my story turned my biggest failure into my greatest asset. I created value from nothing and helped others do the same. Looking back, getting fired was the best thing that happened to me. It forced me to be creative, resourceful, and build my own system. Multiple income streams I control. You don't have to wait for disaster to start. You can begin today. List one item for sale. Send one freelance email. Write down your skills. Just take the first step. The world has changed. Security comes from your ability to create value, not from a company. The 5 hustles I shared are just a starting point. Find what works for you. This is your call to action. Don't be afraid to fail. Not every idea will work, but the goal is to keep moving, keep learning. Take control of your financial future. The tools are at your fingertips. The only thing missing is you, your ideas, your energy, your hustle. Now go out there and build something.